When I arrived home, I was met by my husband, Jason, who stood with his arms crossed, echoing a familiar stance. "Hey, I've asked you not to go out without letting me know first," he confronted me. Apologetically, I explained, "I'm sorry, but there was an urgent situation. Evan was in an accident and had to be rushed to the hospital." His response was firm, "I don't care. You promised not to leave without informing me." Those words triggered a profound reaction within me. My name is Emma, a 27-year-old who transitioned into life as a housewife a year ago upon marrying Jason. Despite the blissful facade of our newlywed status, recent developments have cast shadows over my contentment. Jason's jealousy, initially charming during our courtship, has taken a concerning turn. His possessiveness was noticeable even when we dated. Inquiries about my social outings, particularly the presence of men, were common. Conceding to his wish, I left my job post-marriage, thereby limiting my interactions outside our home. Jason appears comforted by this arrangement, to the extent of intercepting routine interactions, such as receiving parcels under the guise of assistance. Our paths crossed professionally, during which I briefly modeled at a corporate promotional event, a simple role that unexpectedly led to our meeting. Jason, an employee of the featured company, was smitten at first sight. Pursuing me post-event, his consistent kindness and the financial stability his job offered made him an appealing partner. Our exchange of numbers led to several dates, where his efforts to impress were both endearing and sincere. Our relationship continued to flourish, and his displays of affection became more frequent and intense. Before long, we were officially an item. A year into our relationship, he popped the question and we exchanged vows. Truth be told, Jason is utterly smitten with me. Yet his profound affection led to an unfortunate event that I'm about to share. Let me tell you about a significant incident. I was thrilled to receive an invitation to a high school reunion. Having moved to New York for college, it had been ages since I last visited my hometown, and the prospect of reconnecting with old friends excited me. However, I faced a major obstacle: my husband, who I knew would object to me attending the reunion. Determined to find a solution, I secretly crafted a plan after receiving the invitation by mail, unnoticed by Jason. I decided to enlist my parents' help. Before approaching the subject with Jason, I called my mother, seeking her assistance. Upon his return from work, I told him of my plans to visit my parents that weekend, under the guise of my mother needing to speak with me about something important. Jason offered to drive me, but I insisted he take the day off, emphasizing the private nature of the conversation my mother wished to have with me alone. This ruse ensured that Jason wouldn't accompany me, allowing me to attend the reunion without his knowledge. With everything set, I traveled back to my hometown for the first time in years, heading straight to my parents' house as part of my plan. True to expectations, Jason had already reached out to my mom, who cleverly covered for me by apologizing for the sudden invitation. Jason's ease at her explanation was palpable. Upon my arrival, his message was simple and warm: "Enjoy your time with your folks." Grateful for my mom's complicity, I then made my way to the reunion in the outfit I'd arranged to have there. The reunion was a delightful whirlwind of nostalgia and updates. Faces from the past had evolved in remarkable ways, yet some remained unchanged, their essence untouched by time. Life had rerouted many paths. Some were now parents, others had navigated the complexities of divorce. My recent foray into art, a shared endeavor with Jason, had kept me from these connections, sparking curiosity and surprise among my peers. My modeling stint, a revelation to them, earned unexpected compliments, enriching the joy of reconnection. Despite the pull of the after-party, my thoughts were with Jason, prompting an early departure. Back at my parents', I reassured him of my overnight stay, promising a safe return the following morning. His response, laced with affection, left me hopeful of my secret remaining intact. However, the drive back was a precursor to confrontation. Jason's foreboding silhouette, arms crossed in disapproval, awaited my return. His accusation of infidelity struck me, baseless and shocking. "I've been faithful," I responded, bewildered by his unwarranted conclusion. The truth of my class reunion attendance, meant to be a simple reconnection with my past, now hung between us, a misunderstood testament to my intentions. Puzzled over how Jason discovered my attendance at the reunion, I felt cornered and confessed to going. His immediate reaction was to label my actions as deceitful, equating meeting with old classmates to infidelity. I tried to explain it was merely a gathering of friends, something I had longed for due to our separation over the years. His stance was unforgiving, arguing that environments with alcohol and men were off limits, confirming my fears that he would have objected to my going. Faced with his demand for an apology, I was taken aback by the extent of his demands, yet acknowledged my deceit and offered the apology he sought. His conditional forgiveness left a bitter taste, marred by his ongoing frustration. Curiosity led me to inquire about his method of discovery, which he revealed with a chilling pride. His investigation was thorough, involving social media scrutiny that bordered on violation. Discovering an Instagram story that inadvertently included me, he pieced together my whereabouts with a detective's precision. This revelation was alarming, highlighting a level of surveillance and control that was invasive and unsettling. Jason's subsequent behaviors, daily check-ins, demands for constant updates, and reprimands for missed communications only intensified my concerns. This escalation of possessiveness and control painted a disturbing picture of the dynamics within our relationship. Navigating the treacherous waters of my marriage had become a daily challenge, marked by Jason's unreasonable demands for constant updates on my whereabouts. The prospect of separation loomed, yet the financial security Jason provided and my current status as a housewife complicated the thought of divorce. The barriers to re-entering the workforce seemed insurmountable under his watchful eye. However, an urgent call from my mother shattered the uneasy status quo. She informed me of my brother Evan's car accident, propelling me into action without a second thought for Jason's directives. Questions about Evan's condition raced through my mind as I hurried to the hospital, fearing the worst. Relief washed over me upon seeing Evan relatively unharmed, despite the serious nature of his accident. His upbeat demeanor belied the severity of his injuries and the close call he had experienced. After ensuring he was in good spirits and promising to visit again, I returned home, unaware of the storm brewing. Jason awaited me with a familiar, ominous stance, his anger palpable. My explanation of the emergency fell on deaf ears. He was unmoved by the circumstances, fixating instead on my departure without his permission. This confrontation underscored the unsustainable nature of our relationship, forcing me to confront the reality of my situation. In a moment of profound clarity, my tolerance for the situation reached its end. How can you be so indifferent? Your brother-in-law was in grave danger. I protested, my frustration boiling over. This overbearing control has to stop. It's utterly selfish. I can't endure this any longer. I want a divorce. My declaration seemed to jolt Jason into panic. A divorce? Why, all of a sudden, he stammered, clearly shocked. This isn't sudden. I've reached my limit. I can't stay with you, I affirmed, my resolve unwavering. Jason's reaction was one of desperation. Tears streamed down his face as he pleaded for forgiveness, promising change. But deep down, I knew such a transformation was improbable. Ignoring his pleas, I packed my belongings and sought refuge at my parents' home. I later initiated formal separation proceedings, although predictably, Jason resisted signing the divorce papers. Undeterred, I resolved to confront him at his workplace, a setting where he held considerable respect as a stringent supervisor. Upon my arrival, despite Jason's attempt to divert the confrontation, I proceeded into the office. Addressing his colleagues, I revealed my request for a divorce and Jason's refusal to consent. As he attempted to intervene, I played a recording of his tearful pleas. The revelation exposed a side of Jason unknown to his colleagues, eliciting visible discomfort and disapproval from them. "Stop. Why are you doing this?" Jason implored, panic-stricken as his professional facade crumbled. "It's because you won't grant me a divorce," I responded, detailing the lengths to which his jealousy had driven him, including invasive surveillance tactics that had no place in a healthy relationship. Confronted with the undeniable truth of his actions and the unanimous disapproval of his peers, Jason capitulated, finally agreeing to sign the divorce papers. This act marked the end of a chapter defined by control and the beginning of a journey toward autonomy and healing. I refused to live another day under constant surveillance, justifying my every move, even for trivial outings like a grocery run. I declared, standing my ground. Jason's plea to keep this quiet only underscored the depth of his desperation. As the reality of his actions set in, The disbelief among his colleagues was palpable. Faced with no other option, Jason acquiesced, signing the divorce papers and effectively freeing me from the confines of our oppressive marriage. Stepping out of the office, I breathed a sigh of relief, liberated at last. The aftermath in Jason's professional life unfolded as one might expect. His credibility suffered, and whispers of ridicule followed him. His boasts of being adored and cherished by me were unveiled as mere fabrications, leading to his isolation. The consequences of his actions were his alone to bear. Meanwhile, I turned a new leaf, finding solace and a fresh start in my hometown. There, a high school friend introduced me to a company that soon became not just my workplace, but a stepping stone to a new chapter in my life. It was here that I met a remarkable man who, in time, became my husband. Together, we built a family grounded in love and mutual respect. My husband's unwavering kindness and trust stand in stark contrast to my past. He supports my independence, fostering a relationship where I feel truly free and valued. Our family is a testament to the life I always yearned for, one filled with love, freedom, and the joy of watching our children grow. It's a profound reminder of the strength found in new beginnings and the promise of what lies ahead.